So here we have an array. So in this loop here, we have movies 0 equals the interview, movies 2 equals don't eat the daisies, and then we go through this for loop and store everything. There's a really good question that was asked, is what happens when the for loop gets to index 0 and there's something already in there? Well, Java just replaces it. It destroys what's in there. Because there was no reference to the string literal, theoretically the string literal will get destroyed by the Java garbage collection. However, and this is where we get into that weird gray area again of string literal versus an object. This is a string literal, the interview. This is a Lincoln popped up. There we go. This is a string object. String.nextLine is a string object. So when we lose a reference to an object, the object gets cleaned up by the garbage. It gets thrown away. When you lose reference to a string literal, it stays in the string literal table until the program is finished running. It doesn't get cleaned up. Just in case you use that string literal again. So Java, the builders of Java decided that was more efficient use of memory when using string literals to not get rid of them. That's just what they found when they designed this language. That's what they wanted to do. So when we do our scan.nextLine, that's getting an actual string object. Everything works with it, with aliases and everything like that. It is a reference to an object, so if we set it equal to something else, so if I set movies I equal to movies, movies 3 equal to movies 4, they're going to be pointing to the same object. Whereas if I had set movies 0 to movies 2, it would just wipe out and erase. So because movies 0 has a string literal in it, it gets wiped out, but it does still stay in that string literal table somewhere in Java's memory. For our purposes for the AP exam, it just gets destroyed. We don't need to worry about that. As far as the AP exam is concerned, it's gone. It gets treated like every other object. It gets deleted and erased. Okay? Objects get dumped when they lose a reference. That's what you need to know for the AP exam. They don't get as nuanced as the string literal table. Okay, moving on. So, what's happening in memory is we get references. We enter in the names of these movies, the 300, Into the Woods, Maleficent, Big Six, and Interstellar. And inside memory, there is a box called Movies 3. And it has a reference to an object that's a string object that links to Big Six. 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Big Six is index 3. So that now is linked to an object in memory. And part of the data of that object is the word Big Six, is the string Big Six, those letters. But it also has the ability to calculate its own length. It has the ability to use substring. It has the ability to use replace, dot contains. All the different methods that you've been using with strings all exist right here at Movies 3. It's an object. So in memory, what's really going on here is we have our array. At index 3, we have our box to our string, which has a hashtag memory location, which then links to some big object with Big Six in it. So what's actually stored at this location is the memory address. That's what's stored in index 3 is the actual memory address. Not the word big 6, because it's not a string literal. It's an object. Whereas at location 0, when we first started, in the box was the interview. Because it's a string literal. So it's slightly nuanced, a little different, but don't worry too much about it because it's really not tested on the AP exam. So how do we get to the length of an array in a string? There's a quick link to a video here I want you guys to watch. And that's the last video.
So here we have an array of strings.
Watch this
Remember,
video.
a string is a class type.